And go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our final day of Minnesota LCS Spring Split. The end of Season 1 in terms of the regular split. We still have playoffs coming up in the weeks following, but this is kind of a big moment for us. For me, myself, Steve Sir Buttkick Kangas coming in as play-by-play caster, and a special surprise for all the fans out there. We had him on as a guest speaker Tuesday, kind of as an analyst. And now he's casting these two games with me tonight. Everybody give a hand to Central Time, or you can call him Jeffrey. I don't know what you prefer to be called.
Jeff is perfect.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, really good to be here.
Yeah, so he's going to be doing my color commentating for me today. Now, Central Time, you are the top laner for the Big Ten team representing Minnesota. So Minnesota LCS, for those that don't know, we are a tournament between a bunch of Minnesota universities, but representing all of Minnesota is essentially Jeff. I mean, in the Big Ten tournament, he's from the Twin Cities campus, but he is all of our champions representing us in the Big Ten League. So what does that feel like, being on the big boy team?
I mean, I've been on a lot of teams in the region. We've played in a lot of local tournaments before, so I'm pretty comfortable in that. Hopefully we'll be able to provide a pretty educational stream today. There's a little bit of a conflict of interest because Potato's on my BTM team as well, so I'm trying my hardest to not be biased at all.
Yeah, so for those of you that haven't heard, literally Potato has officially now been promoted, essentially, so he will be the new jungler for the Big Ten team. So next season 2 in the fall, he will not be in Minnesota LCS, unfortunately. Hopefully we don't lose viewers over that. I know he's kind of a crowd favorite. A lot of people look up to him, kind of watch his VODs to see what he's doing, but you can still catch him. Is it ESPN2, or is that the program that runs them?
I think BTN might have its own channel.
Okay, so on the BTN channel, maybe on YouTube, I don't know. You can find
Twitch
it
as well. Just to be clear, though, I meant biased against Potato, not for him, because I can be pretty critical of him sometimes. So
that's fair. I mean, this is essentially okay. Let's put it this way. He's gotten promoted, but they haven't kicked out the other jungler yet. So maybe after watching this game, you'd be like, "Nah, we don't want Potato anymore." Like, he's actually a Potato.
I think his job's on the line just for this game.
He's got to show up. That's what we're saying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He may or may not have some secret insight onto some picks that may or may not come in this game. So
Yeah, I've received some information from some players. Again, talking about the games that we have tonight. First game of the evening is going to be, and I pulled away the screen. There we go. We are professionals here. Okay, we got ganked by Gophers against St. Olaf as our first game. And our second one is going to be Ram Ranch from University of Minnesota Duluth against the Pupper Dogs from Fighting the St. Scholastica. They make me say it. This is why I hate this team. They make me say the team name. I don't have a choice.
It was intentional, for sure.
But out of these games, none of them essentially matter, really. All of the playoff spots have been locked in. The only thing that could happen here is St. Olaf and Ram Ranch, whichever of the... If one wins and the other loses, their spots in the tournament might switch. So right now, Ram Ranch is third place. St. Olaf is fourth. So if St. Olaf somehow beats Ganked by Gophers, who are favored to win, and Ram Ranch loses to Pupper Dogs, when Ram Ranch is favored to win, then there would be a switch. But most likely, we'll see just pretty much the same standings going forward. And with that being said, I hope to see just some fun games.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I alluded to this a little bit on Tuesday, but I do think that, this last game of the regular season, not much is going to be able to, you're not going to be able to like practice out a dramatic change in your team in the last game or, last few games of the season. So I think, Steve, what we're both looking for is really just that both of these teams try their best at their strengths and, try to like establish their identity before playoffs. You know what I mean?
Well, see, what I'm hoping to see is Ganked by Gophers. They're still undefeated. And what I'm hoping is that they don't try hard this. Because, I mean, they want to stay undefeated, I would assume. But at least just have fun with it. St. Olaf, you can try hard. I give you permission. But Ganked by Gophers, just pull out something fun. That's all I'm hoping to see.
I mean, definitely. I hope both teams pull out something fun. There's a lot of opportunity here. Like you said, playoff spots are already locked in. There's not going to be a lot on the line here for this game. But, I mean, we can definitely expect some things from given how the regular season has gone. We know that UMN's going to come out swinging. They have quite an aggressive play style, sometimes too aggressive. And we're going to have to see if St. Olaf's going to be able to punish that in any way. Be able to punish their missteps or their oversteps.
Yeah, and St. Olaf, definitely not one of those sleeping or teams to sleep on. They're still top 4 in the tournament, having a really strong record. One of the only teams that actually has a positive record. The majority of teams in the tournament being below 50% win rate. So St. Olaf being 7-3 right now. There's a chance that they could take this. There's definitely a chance that these players, if they're able to get the champions that they like, can get a legitimate win over Ganked by Gophers, regardless of if they try to kind of cheese or not, play those more fun picks as opposed to the meta picks. So no matter what happens, I think that we're going to have a good game.
Yeah, absolutely. And something that we try to pioneer or, reinforce in the BTN team is to really have respect for your opponents, no matter who they are or what kind of record there is going in, what rank they are. You have to play with a kind of fundamental respect. Otherwise, you risk, opening yourself up to other people capitalizing on your mistakes. So I think that's going to be the story of this game, really. Obviously, Ganked by Gophers being favored with a 10-0 record. They've had some pretty strong showings recently, but definitely St. Olaf can look to, again, punish those openings that Ganked by Gophers might make.
Yeah, and Ganked by Gophers, they can kind of take this either as a chance to relax and kind of take the end of the season easy, or they could use it as practice going into playoffs because being first place, they're going to have an easier run through the tournament to that finals playoff where we, again, just based on their dominance throughout this tournament, not a big surprise that they make it there, meaning that they might be facing, again, Mankato, which are 10-1 right now. Mankato lost the match head-to-head with Ganked by Gophers. They got to be looking for revenge. But now we're into this match, St. Olaf against Ganked by Gophers. First ban coming out being the Aria, actually, against Wolfie Meister. That's one of the champions he plays the most.
Right, and it's going to be interesting to see what kind of draft format that both these teams are going to be looking for. Recently, I think a lot of people have been prioritizing the jungle, so I'm looking to see maybe a couple bans out from each side on maybe controlling Potato, especially that jungle matchup is really important between these two teams. So I'm expecting at least a couple jungle bans here.
Yeah, some teams have opted to just kind of not try to ban out Potato because it's so hard, but the one champ he will never play is Graves. After, I believe it was week 2, he had a game that he got to play in, and that was just a little gross to watch.
Yeah.
So that taken away makes sense. And, something to note here, Warwick taken away from the Floob. I believe he's played 3 games of Warwick so far this split. But another champ that he's played 3 games with is Amumu. We were just checking those stats, seeing kind of what champions he likes to play since it's a very jungle-centric meta right now. But one of those champs taken away, so 2 junglers already. What do you expect to see coming from a red side? Maybe something like the Lulu, take that away from Wiki. Do you expect to see that?
The Azir ban for Whitty Parker, obviously pretty expected. Like you said, I do think it's going to be interesting to see if the jungler on St. Olaf's going to prioritize Amumu at all with a change. As we do see the Lulu ban coming out for the side of UMN. That's pretty standard, I think. Something that a lot of teams are doing now because, before Lulu gets nerfed, before she gets hit with the ban hammer, I think she's definitely probably the strongest support in the game right now.
But as blue side, it's an interesting thing to ban out because typically when you're blue side, you can choose to not ban it. That forces red side to ban it. And then if they don't, you can pick it up first pick. So they ban it out, meaning that now a red side, St. Olaf can ban whatever they want, which is actually going to be Thresh. Wiki hasn't been able to play that champ in a while. And honestly, these 3 bans, I think, have been the same against Ganked by Gophers the past 3 weeks.
Wow. Whitty Parker, extremely confident. Obviously, he's been training a lot of champions besides Azir, knowing that it's going to be permaban at MNLCS, obviously. But really confident to lock in Lux. She did recently get a buff. Having that cooldown reset on Final Spark's definitely going to open up some opportunities in the mid game. I like this decision, assuming that Ganked by Gophers has some kind of plan going into Champ Select. Pretty confident in that blind pick. That opens your opportunities up for the rest of your teammates to look for counter picks. So, something that happens pretty often in the top lane is like in LCK, champions in Champion Spring, like they'll pick Rumble early on. Mm-hmm. And because they're really confident in Rumble being in the lane against almost any champion, that opens up an opportunity later on in the draft for your teammates to counter pick, essentially. So that's definitely a smart decision coming out of you, man.
It is interesting, though, showing one of those solo laners first. But again, Whitty Parker must just be confident enough. Keep in mind, it could potentially be flexed into support, most likely not. but there is an option. Or, I mean, Potato is historic for playing Brand jungle. I mean, Rise jungle. He'll play anything in the jungle. And now the Renekton Zillion, that's kind of spicy. I like seeing Zillion in play just because I don't get to play against him that often. I don't play him that often, but he's a really fun champ to watch.
Yeah, definitely. I know Bjergsen's pretty famous in the North American LCS for playing a lot of Zillion. It's a little hit or miss for me, I think. I think when you're hitting your double bombs, they can be super impactful in team fights, but pretty interesting to see Woody Park lock in the Victor, so it's definitely going to be a Lux support.
It could be jungle. Don't.
Okay.
Don't sleep on. I'm saying it right now. I would not be surprised to actually see Potato. I've had multiple conversations with him, telling him that Lux is strong and it has a place in the meta, and he's been telling me I'm wrong. So maybe this is him trying it out.
Yeah, definitely.
And Shen locked in also in that top lane. An incredibly strong pick right now. One of those champs that you really can pick blind, but they're not picking a blind. They're picking it into the Renekton. What do you think about that matchup?
Yeah, I mean, as a top lane main, I do think Shen has a pretty solid matchup into almost any melee laner top side. Okay. But Renekton is definitely going to have a pretty solid lane advantage in the early game, but definitely gets outscaled. And obviously, the reason why you pick Shen is for that map pressure, for the Stand United as acting as a double teleport.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see whether Spliffy is going to be able to translate his map pressure into plays for Gank by Gophers, or, maybe St. Olaf's going to play more towards that top side and try to get a lane advantage off that early game.
And we're seeing that St. Olaf still, Zillion could be mid, could be support, but Ganked by Gophers won't know going into this final pick. Lucian picked up for Wexler. Oh, my hopes might be dashed. Ivern getting hovered. I would assume that would be the jungle then. Unless he's ended support.
I would be pretty astonished to see Lux jungle out of Potato.
Probably
Obviously
not.
Knowing him personally as well. I mean, both of us know him personally.
But this is what we were saying. I mean, would you not be impressed if he could pull it off?
I mean, like you said, it is the last game of the regular season. Not much is at stake. I wouldn't be super sad to see it, I guess I could say. But
it would definitely be an explosive way to end out the season.
For sure. Nocturne, pretty interesting as well. I haven't seen a lot of Nocturne. I think the common consensus is that he is able to clear the jungle, but is pretty dependent on getting kind of, the plays at 6. And, I mean, with the global ultimate from Shen.
Oh, I'm going to stop you right there just because Aatrox is being hovered, and it would have to go support, right? It has to. They're not going to send it mid. They wouldn't do that to me.
I do think we alluded to this a little bit earlier about our, insider information. I think the hover is really just for you here, man.
Oh, okay. This is the problem: is that there's a couple players from a couple teams that will always hover things that they know that I want to see, and then they switch it at the last second. So I'm not going to get my hopes up. I know he's going to change it, but my God, do I want to see that play?
I think it would be probably a horrible decision here. But
amazing. I mean, we haven't. How many times have you seen the Lux into the Aatrox support?
Haven't seen him for sure. But I think UMN's already setting themselves up for an extremely good bot lane kill pressure lane, because the Lux binding into Caitlyn trap is going to be really, really potent at shutting down anyone when they try to dive on the Caitlyn. And I think that's a pretty solid lane, and I think they've practiced. I do know that the side of UMN has like a lot of different combos that they've set up in terms of crowd control. They run the Zillion in the mid, or sorry, not Zillion, the Vigar in the mid lane as well. Definitely going to be interesting to see. What do you think about how the teams match up so far?
I mean, honestly, the big thing I want to talk about is Potato being on Ivern. That's a champion that's been banned out against him a lot. Typically, Potato he's more comfortable playing, as we've seen in the past, the carry. But the times he has gotten Ivern, he's also just facilitated his team so well. So I'm excited to see him actually play this champion again. I'm curious to see what that's going to look like, because we haven't seen it in quite a while. What do you think about the Ivern into the Nocturne matchup specifically?
I do think that Ivern's going to be able to put a lot of pressure on the map, because he takes very little time to clear his jungle camps, obviously with that passive. It is kind of an interesting matchup, because I think both junglers are really focused on vision denial. Obviously, Ivern can kind of just walk from lane to lane, drop the bush down, and kind of force the enemy to play around this created vision that he's able to implement in the lanes. But on the other side, again, Nocturne's also kind of that where when you pop the paranoia, I mean, you're denying vision for everyone for a couple seconds. And I think that playstyle is going to be kind of interesting to see how they interact, whether they're going to be used to counter each other or kind of, play to the other side of the map. Because again, UMN does have that global ultimate on Shen.
And I think the difference between, you mentioned that they can both deny vision from the enemy team. The difference being Nocturne's paranoia is used to kind of stop vision as you're trying to make a pick. Like he's trying to jump in there and delete a target, and the rest of the team can't see where he's coming from, who he's jumping on. Whereas Ivern is more, you control vision around objectives. You drop the bushes onto Baron so that the enemy team can't even see if you're doing it or not. You drop it around Dragon Pit so that they can't quite get in there as easily. So I think the vision control from Ivern's more kind of slow and methodical, where it's like, I'm going to drop these bushes in a place where I know they're going to be coming from so that they can't see us. Whereas Nocturne's like, if I see somebody out of place, I'm going to pop that ultimate. But yeah, I think it's an interesting point to bring up there with the Shen ultimate, because anybody that Nocturne jumps on, keep in mind, this is all 5-man together, all in the same Discord channel. So if he jumps on, say, Caitlyn, she just shouts out, hey, Shen, ult on me, and then she stays alive. So it's going to be difficult for Nocturne to hop on anybody.
Right, and that's an interesting point to bring up as well for Shen. Something that I've done in the past is use Shen as an aggressive ultimate, ulting on an initiator. But for the side of UMN in this game, they don't really have any hard engage. So it's gonna really be about disengage and kind of a reactive play out of UMN, which I think doesn't really, like you said, Potato being on more of a supportive jungler doesn't really play to their strengths. So, I mean, that's definitely something that St. Olaf can look to exploit as well.
Yeah, but they don't have the initiation, but they have the objective control. Caitlyn traps, Ivern bushes, Shen with the double teleport. I love the draft from Ganked by Gophers. I got to give it to them overall. But we haven't talked that much about St. Olaf's draft pick here. We mentioned a little bit the Zillion mid. You were questioning it, saying that if you can land the double bomb, it's worth it. But if not, he just doesn't really do much. I mean, he can speed up the Lucian, so he can kind of jump in and out. But I got to be expecting to see the initiation coming in from this Renekton. If he can get on the back line of Ganked by Gophers, that's what they got to look for, because then that'll open up the Nocturne to also get in there. As Nami can kind of peel for the Lucian on her own if she's able to save the tidal wave, land the bubbles that she needs to keep Shen off of him.
Right, and I mean, now taking a closer look at St. Olaf's draft here, it's pretty interesting to see triple Ignite locked in. I think
that's aggressive.
This is a smart decision, I think, to some extent, because you already know that Shen's going to have global pressure on you. So you're really doubling down on the fact that you're going to be able to get an advantage through lane phase. And I think that's definitely a way to answer the more supportive style that Ganked by Gophers might not be too comfortable with. And I think it's also making a statement that, we have kill pressure in every lane now. That's something that's really important. Some lanes, especially when you're playing a tank versus a tank top lane, you don't have that much pressure, but running the Ignite on Renekton is definitely making a statement about, we're going to be looking to be aggressive. We're not at all scared of the fact that you're 10-0,
Yeah, and Renekton, being one of those bruisers that right now to Faker loves to play, known for his Darius, but I expect to see him to show up here. Let's talk a little bit about these teams, though. As Ganked by Gophers, we have Spliffy in the top lane, literally a potato in the jungle, with Witty Parker mid, and then Never Vote Yes and Wiki on the bot side for St. Olaf, trying to get this win so they can move from 4th to 3rd place. We have right now to Faker with DeFloob, and then Wolfie Meister in the mid, Wexler, and Jim Rayner on the bot side. Now, I mention this every single game that I do that intro, but we have to do some kind of top 10 best named players in this split, right? Like, literally a potato. Not only is he a good player, but that name is just fantastic as well. Like, right now to Faker. There's just some classics that I think are clear.
Yeah, I do think that that the side of St. Olaf's going to be a little disadvantaged in the bot lane because they didn't actually choose any skins, as far as I know.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah, it seems like a missed opportunity for them. But I mean, we'll have to see. I don't think player skill has anything to do with how the bot lane plays out. So I think
it's skins. Skins,
it's definitely skins.
They absolutely do.
Skins.
And talking about skins, the only member I believe on the side Ganked by Gophers not with the skin is Potato. I mean, is it Candy Cane or Candy King, Ivern? I actually don't know the name of that skin.
Yeah, I've contracted a lot of diseases from playing with and against Ivern, so I try not to pay too much attention to the skins. Some of those might be.
And something something interesting here. Both teams doing a full 5-man invade of each other's junglers, but on opposite sides, so they're not going to run into each other.
Yeah, I mean, I like this out of the side of UMN a little bit more than St. Olaf because they do have a lot more CC. Ivern, obviously, a really good champion to invade with. You're able to send your team at whoever you root, level 1.
And Wiki getting a double binding. Spliffy, if he takes the taunt first, can land multi-man taunts then. But
yeah, I do like
you might not see it.
Yeah, I do like the proactivity coming out of both teams already, though. You know, getting a little bit of vision just to confirm where the enemy jungler starts is definitely a big thing. It might be a little interesting. Now we do see St. Olaf moving up to try to check for the Iron invade, and they might find Potato here.
It is warded, but that Nocturne skin is just bugging me out. That little, like, tail... Okay, now it's moving. The tail wisp was just kind of locked in place for a while there. That did not look good. I did not enjoy that. Okay, back into the game, though. They are spotted out. Potato not going to back, though, as actually DeFlube's going for his Raptors, and Red Buff gets taken away right under his nose.
Really unfortunate right there for the Nocturne. And again, Nocturne's going to be one of those junglers that's looking to farm to 6, and the fact that he loses the amount of EXP from his red buff early is just going to delay that even further, you know what I mean?
Well, I promise you, he walked right by there and just went, God damn it. Like, yeah. Come on, Potato. Why you got to do me like that? But you got to expect it when it's the Ivern. It's so easy for him to take that camp from you level 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to put a lot of pressure on the laners of St. Olaf to do something in their respective matchups without the jungler here. Because, again, they're running the triple ignite. They're not going to have that TP to play reactive global pressure. And I think that, you know, if they're not able to get kills early, that it's going to really set them up for a pretty bad mid to late game. Because having that TP is huge in terms of being able to apply split with pressure.
Yeah, and we already mentioned how they can kind of control vision as well as objectives with the Caitlyn traps. Victor ultimate so strong in team fights that ganked by Gophers are going to pretty much be dominating the objective control, I gotta assume. I mean, not only are they just comfortable doing it to begin with, we've seen that they are the team with the highest Baron, or highest Dragon rather, take in the entire league. I would not be surprised to see that continue in this final game for them, this split. The question is, again, how seriously are they taking this? They already have that first position locked in, because even if they lose, they've won the head-to-head against Mankato. So what's driving them, do you think?
I mean, I'm guessing they're trying pretty hard here, because whenever I pick Shen on my team, all of my teammates are like, yep, we're trying really, really hard here. But, I mean, I again, like I said, I really like St. Olaf just, you know, trying to come out swinging, really. Just running the triple ignite gives them a lot of, you know, on-board pressure right off the bat. And, wow, Bayern lands on a Jim Raynor here.
No summoner spells blown yet, but a blinking health bar means Jim's in a rough spot, especially since Potato is on the bot side. He's spotted out by a ward, so they see him there. He might get aggressive and try to flash in. No, he's just going to tax the lane, maybe? No.
Yeah, actually a little bit questionable by Potato here, I think, because he's given the Flube a little bit of an opportunity to farm his jungle. You know, showing himself there actually takes a lot of the pressure off of the top and mid lanes for the side of St. Olaf. And, you know, he's, again, I mean, the advantage of Ivern is that you're able to clear your jungle so quickly that you can walk from lane to lane. But, I mean, with that early red buff advantage, you would think that he would try to keep that advantage on the enemy jungler. I think this does open up a little bit of a window for the Nocturne to get back in the game, as it were.
I mean, they also know where the Nocturne is. That pink ward has been on the other side of his red buff since level 1. Jim Raynor so far forward. Heal coming out. The traps land. Never vote yes. Bubble up, but first blood secured. Gets the net combo. Can they get anything more for it? Flash available, but they don't go for it. And an easy kill picked up. Jim just way too far forward.
Yeah, classic, you know, trap or binder and trap combo there. Executed really, really well. Pretty good discipline out of the bot lane of UMN there, too, not to flash forward, knowing that they probably wouldn't get the kill on Wexler. But, you know, a lot of EXP being denied on the bot tower here for them.
Yeah, and I was just going to make a point about when Potato showed bottom, that meant that Right Nut was pretty safe pushing in topside as Spliffy was already under his own turret. Slightly behind in farm, about a wave and a half now. But Potato is roaming around that top side, but vision control from DeFlube is actually pretty good. They're going to be able to spot out where Potato is now. What do you think this means for DeFlue? Where should he go knowing that Potato is topside?
I mean, I think at this point, really, he's already level 5. He's, other than that red buff steal early, he's had a lot of opportunity to clear all of his camps. So, really just rush level 6. I think probably the easiest gank for him is going to be in the mid lane. If Wolfiemeister is able to hit a double stun into a Paranoia dash, I think that's probably one of the more free kills on the side of St. Olaf. So I'm really thinking he's just going to rush 6 here and look for a play with that ultimate because, at the same time, I think right now the Faker does have to apply some pressure on the top side so that Spliffy is less available to make those global plays. Because it is really...
Ooh, binding lands onto Wexler. Never vote yes is here. The bubble lands, but Potato, are you going to tank up the turret? Getting the binding onto Jim. The trap is there. You're a squishy Nami. You can't tank those shots. You're going down second kill to never vote yes.
Yeah, a smart return there for Potato, actually. Knowing that, they were going to be able to follow up on either bind that lands.
And right now, getting aggressive onto Spliffy in the top side. And this is what we're saying. Now Shen can't really use that ultimate to help out the side lanes, but unfortunately doesn't really need to, as bot is really going in the favor of ganked by Gophers.
Yeah, something interesting to talk about between the Renekton and Shen matchup, as we do see UMN going for the early dragon here. Like you said, with that bush control, I don't think there's going to be any contest coming outside of St. Olaf.
But even if there was, they wouldn't be able to see it. Like, they would see, oh, there's a bush, we have to face check that, or oh, we got to get close enough to put a ward, which means Wiki can land the binding, never vote yes, can jump over, drop a trap under you, and they can just chain the CC. But, I mean, unfortunately, St. Olaf are just otherwise, they don't even see it happening.
Yeah. Something I was going to mention earlier was that, the Shen Renekton matchup, it really hinges a lot on Spliffy being able to use Spirit's Refuge to block the stun out of Renekton. So a little bit of mind games coming out on the top side, that actually swings the matchup a lot, as we do see, right now the Faker does have more than a 10 CS lead. But, I mean, in this matchup, when you're opting in for the mid to late game advantage on the side of, having Shen, I don't think it's enough of an advantage yet. So I do think that St. Olaf needs to make a play around this level 6 Nocturne, or, I mean, they're just going to be behind in terms of global map pressure. And two kills already going to the side of Gank by Gophers on the bot side means that, I mean, they're not going to have pressure there either.
Yeah, and also, we just want to see some fights. I mean, that's another reason for DeFlue to roam around. You got level 6. You got to spend some time in A lane. We haven't seen him gank a single lane once, not even really showing proximity to topside at all. He's been mid more than a couple times. You farmed to 6. Do something with that. As now Potato is level 6 as well. Yes, he's behind and farmed you, but he has helped his team a little bit more than DeFlue has been able to. Right nut. Taking some damage as Potato's on the top side. There's the Paranoia rush onto Wiki. They're getting the damage. The fear is out. Flashing from Wexler, but the shield. This is the Shen ult coming down to save the life. DeFluke's taking a lot of damage. Never vote yes, picking up the kill. Spliffy jumping through the bubble. Heal comes down, but Spliffy is on the back line. Can he land a taunt onto Wexler? Never vote yes. Has burned heal. There is Ace in the hole. Blocked up by Jim. Oh! And they lined up for Wiki to hit Bo. Jim with his 3rd death of the game. And this might be first turret blood.
Yeah, I mean, this is a pretty brutal snowball coming out the side of UMN. Able to pick up first turret here, probably, and then be able to just transition their bot lane to the top side and have, Spliffy go down to the bot lane with that global pressure. I mean, he did use TP and Stand United there, but the natural move here for Gank by Gophers is to swap their bot lane right up there. Although, actually, yeah, they do get the tower in the bot lane. So a lot of gold coming out. Right now to Faker, using the ultimate just kind of for some lane pressure. I think he's a little desperate to make something happen in the top side.
And the problem is that you don't take teleport because of that play. I mean, Spliffy can ult down. You can teleport down to answer it, but if they win the trade, then Spliffy teleports back up top, and the Shen is farming while Renekton's still bot side. And unfortunately, right now just hasn't found his chance to all in onto Spliffy and use that ignite to actually get a kill secured for him. He doesn't have ultimate available. Spliffy is actually trading with him, having the Bomby Cinder just ticking damage off onto right nut. Ignite rather is down. The flash auto secures right nut the kill. And just as I was talking about it, he actually pulls it off.
Yeah. That's exactly the kind of play that the side of St. Olaf's going to have to make repetitively here, I think, to maintain tempo in this game. And I mean, we do see pretty much every lane except for the top side getting out farmed here. So I mean, if I'm Deflube on the Nocturne here for the side of St. Olaf, I really want to press my advantage into this Renekton lane. I think that's probably their win condition, given how the bot side of the map has just collapsed for St. Olaf. So,
and especially when there's a Caitlyn fed on ganked by Gophers, well, the answer to that, get your Renekton fed, because if Renekton gets strong, he can just jump on the Caitlyn and mess with her. She's out of the fight pretty much, because she's going to have to kite the Renekton. Potato's probably going to have to stay next to her to keeping her alive, which means it's essentially now a 4v3 from ganked by Gophers, and Right Nut as Renekton will be able to survive that 2v2 long enough that hopefully St. Olaf can get back into the game. The question is, does the team realize that, and will they play around this Renekton trying to pressure that lead? And we haven't seen that level of strategy from many of the teams so far, but St. Olaf being 7-3, maybe they're one of the teams that can pull it off.
Yep, and you know, like I said earlier, this is the natural move for ganked by Gophers to...
oh, Jim! Oh, that feels bad.
Maybe he thinks he's playing a different champion that's a little bit tankier, but yeah, a little bit unfortunate for him there, getting caught on the river. That's one of the dangers of playing support, though. You know, if you try to get wards up for your team and you don't have all the information... Oh, I thought Zillion was going to...
Yeah, I thought that might have been an all-in again. Okay, this is that point where you're the support and you get caught out and you realize it, but you spam to the team like, he flashed. Like, I got his flash. Don't worry. It was totally worth. I wasn't going to do anything anyway. And Wolfmeister blowing his ultimate on himself, so Woody Parker had to back off there. But Woody Parker still just able to farm this wave, and top turret might be falling down as well. Ganked by Gophers, picking up their second turret of the game.
Yeah, and this is really classic play. You know, you need to create a numbers advantage for you to be able to snowball your lead. And Potato smartly roaming up there, Wiki looking for a bind there. But yeah, you know, coming up before the side of St. Olaf was able to swap their support up to the top to help and make it a 3v3, nets them a free tower there. And this is really just gonna snowball it to the point where UMN's gonna head mid, try to go for that tower as well. And I mean, Woody Parker having more than a 30 CS lead in the mid lane already is not ideal.
And on the Victor, too. That's a champ that just gets stronger the later the game goes. He already has his completed Hextech core.
Right. And I mean, talking about what St. Olaf can do to come back in this matchup, I think it has to be this top and jungle duo looking for plays on isolated members of Ganked by Gophers, because I really think that's the only way that they can come back in this game. You know, their bot and mid side of the map are so far behind at this point that sending your jungle pressure there is really just going to prompt the Shen ulting in, and I mean, you don't have the teleport top lane, so you need to really look for something for an isolated target. You can't really look for a 5v5 here.
And I mean, I kept hyping up like the objective control coming in from Ganked by Gophers with the Ivern and the Caitlyn, but they've been pulling it off correctly, and St. Olaf hasn't even been around to see it happen. So
yeah,
I just to everybody, I was kind of right, but I guess it didn't matter.
I mean, I don't know if there's a graphical error, but Jim Raynor might think he's playing Aatrox. That might be the thing that's happening. Yeah,
it could be. He thought he locked it in and just didn't even notice. Oh, this is not Aatrox.
I mean, yeah, definitely something we can tell him after the game. But,
you were Nami, just for the record.
Wow, actually, Wiki going pretty low. Actually dies to the bomb.
Oh, did not even notice that in time, but the Flube jumps in, flashing out, actually. Daisy is there to zone them off. Jim, you're so far forward again. Never vote yes, just getting free auto attacks off Wexler, and Wolfmeister getting knocked up. That's the Daisy power, that auto attack with the knockup as well. And now Spliffy just constantly pushing this top turret, as he's not even needed mid lane, but he does have Stand United available if he does need a head there.
Yeah, a little bit of disrespect coming out of Wiki there. Just finished the Medjai's Soul Stealer, actually. So lost any stacks, he would have had a little bit of disrespect coming out of both the supports this game. I think not really calculating how tanky they are in terms of, you know, being a squishy support, a more supportive style champion. You know, both teams are able to pick up some pretty free kills, I think. That's going to kind of slow the pace of the game down, because, you know, trading a 1-for-1 when you're behind on the side of St. Olaf is always a good thing.
Yeah, anytime you can even the trades out when you're 3,000k behind is definitely an advantage to you, especially when it's a Lux that's building the Medjais. You got to imagine that's just kind of the cocky build. Like, yeah, we're so far ahead, I can build this. It's not actually what you would want to build on the Lux, but he's definitely confident in himself being able to get the stacks that he needs on it. But that overconfidence, as it was right there, is paying him some of those stacks. We'll see if he's able to clean it up going forward, though.
I do think that UMN is kind of slowing down the pace of the game. They're not really allocating too much pressure, although we do see 4 kind of stacking up in the mid lane now. I think they could have done this push a little bit earlier and netted this mid tower. But, I mean, again, that kill on Wiki was actually pretty big in terms of slowing the tempo down. And maybe looking for the side of St. Olaf to stall the game out a little bit longer. I mean, Wolfiemeister has a tier, so he's definitely looking for the more the late game power spike. And I mean, it's going to be up to St. Olaf to try to get there.
Yeah, he has a tier instead of the Rod of Ages, which is typically you go one or the other. I mean, you can also get the Morellonomicon for the mana sustain. There's really a lot of options with the Zillion, but I'm curious. I honestly don't know which is the favorited, like which mid laners kind of agree is the best for separate situations. But what I will say is that the scaling coming in from Ganked by Gophers just seems to be better than the scaling overall from St. Olaf. So I don't mind that for right now because, yeah, it will help him stay relevant in the later stages of the game.
Yeah, we do see kind of traded map pressure. Right now, Faker is able to pick up that top tower. Doesn't seem like there's any answer. I mean, UMN, again, doesn't have to be really worried about any TP flanks or anything because with that Ignite on the Renekton, not really any opportunity for that. The mid lane tower does go down. I mean, I would probably look to reset here, but they're kind of fighting in the jungle here a little bit.
Yeah, Deflube might be getting caught out. Spliffy and Potato are on him. All 5 members actually picking up a kill participation in that, and Deflube's just getting caught out. He thought he was safe, saying, hey, this is my jungle, right? I'm good here. But unfortunately, Ganked by Gophers. This is their jungle now.
Yeah, and this is exactly what you want as the aggressors, to get handed those free picks and be able to keep pushing. I mean, with the redemption, with the wave already here, UMN, I mean, it's 17 minutes, is already looking to crack an inhibitor tower here.
Yeah, and it's going to be going down. There's really nothing that St. Olaf can do. Tidal Wave comes in. Right Nuts actually onto Spliffy. Maybe I spoke too soon. Woody Parker's taking some turret shots. As Right Nut, this is what Renekton needed to do. Stand United, keeping Woody Parker alive just long enough.
Paranoia is still available here.
Deflube does pop it, jumping onto Woody Parker, gets the kill, the hero play, sacrificing his life for the the support or mid lane on the other side. Oh, third time's a try. But a kill is picked up onto Right Nut. He tried to be that front line, but his team wasn't there to back him up as Wolfiemeister already blew the Zillion ultimate earlier in that fight. Chrono Shift kind of being necessary for Right Nut to make those dives.
Yeah, really, really clean use of CC and a trap on the side of UMM. I really like the way they're utilizing the Caitlyn pick. It's really strong in the siege situations, and he's also, Never Vote Yes has really been on the ball with just dropping traps between his auto attacks anytime that his teammates land CC. And that's really going to lock down like those melee divers like Renekton and Nocturne. I think that's really the challenge from the side of St. Olaf is when they go in that they're melee champions at the end of the day. I mean, they might be able to get a Zillion revive off Wolfiemeister, but it's usually not enough because even when you revive, you're still on a trap. You're still in one spot. And, I mean, yeah, I think really smart utilization of the pick here on the side of UMN.
Yeah, and that's the question with Caitlyn is, do I stand close enough that I can drop traps or far enough away that I can just auto from a distance? And, yeah, Never Vote Yes, he's playing that line very delicately and in an incredible fashion, knowing when to be far enough away that he's just zoning them off with auto attacks, and knowing when, to get close enough so that he can land those traps underneath them. And I think a lot of that coming from Spliffy, coming from literally Potato with Shen and Ivern. That's a lot of shield coming in. Even the Lux can provide a certain amount of shield for Never Vote Yes.
Yeah, and really what we're seeing here is that Never Vote Yes can play that way because he knows that he's going to have a Stand United. We saw it used on him in the last fight there. When he was even, under any threat. So really on the side of St. Olaf, what they can try to do here is make a play between the cooldowns of Stand United and maybe look to create an advantage that way because then they know that Spliffy's not going to react. We do see a dragon coming out of UMN. Again, this is third free. Yeah. I mean, Potato has such good control over this with the bush. Obviously, no vision there at all for St. Olaf. So, again, another free objective. And I like this prioritization of objectives this game from the side of UMN. They're playing it slow. They're playing it methodical. They're kind of going around with their siege comp and taking all the towers, just moving the trap line up pretty slowly. And we see pressure onto the inhibitor towers and the T2s already. So
yeah, and I mean, St. Olaf, they're getting wards around Baron because they thought that Ganked by Gophers were there, but Dragon was up, meaning it was a free Dragon. And we can talk about the lack of vision from Ganked by Gophers, but actually a lot of damage onto Wexler. He's so low, burning heal and Flash Tidal Wave, knocking out multiple members. Woody Parker might be going down, but Redemption keeps him alive with the ultimate coming out. Right Nut is on the backside, but he doesn't need to be there right now. The team, are they there to follow up? Paranoia comes out, jumping onto Never Vote Yes. Peel popped from the AD carry, and Wiki picks up another kill. Spliffy getting caught out now, as all members of St. Olaf want his blood. It's a 4v5, but there are 2 blinking health bars. Spliffy goes down to a bomb. Well placed from Wolfie Meister. It's now 4v4, but mana is low, especially for this Nami, so they want to be backing off.
Yeah, a hero play coming out of Raynor there, I think. You know, the double bubble into the tidal wave nets them, you know, another favorable 1-for-1 when you're behind, but I mean, it's just not enough, I don't think, at this point. I mean, right now the Faker also got a pretty good flank in, but, you know, we're again seeing the problem with that Nocturne pick with those divers when they have so much peel for Never Vote Yes on the side of UMN. I mean, they have the Spirit's Refuge, they have Potato dropping shields every 3 or 4 seconds. We have Wiki with another shield. I mean, it's just...
And the traps also. I mean, if you don't delete the Caitlyn right away, you're going to hit a trap because she's going to lead you right into it, and then she's just going to blow you up.
Right. And, I mean, a 5K gold lead right now at 20 minutes, it's not insurmountable, but it's going to take a lot more plays like that from Raynor, I think, to set up plays, because it takes time for that Renekton to get to these team fights because he doesn't have that teleport. And yeah, he does have a CS lead, but it doesn't mean that much because it's, you know, it's Shen. He has 2 global abilities that he can use to get there at any time.
And what I want to see from St. Olaf right now is them actually pressuring objectives, because we've seen the Ganked by Gophers are only taking these fights when they have their items available, when they have Redemption, when they have Daisy, when they have Stand United. So Stand United's going to be down for another couple seconds here. I would have actually liked to see St. Olaf push a couple more waves because they were slightly safer without that, but instead they just push 1 wave, maybe 2, and then back, and they're still on their turret. So nothing's changed for them, even though they had, we could say, an advantageous trade, but they're still pretty much in the same position that they were before.
Right, although, I mean, we do see kind of another win condition opening up. Wolfie Meister has completed the Archangel Staff, which is, like we said, something that's going to be able to help him scale a little more towards, you know, damage. He has been able to pick up a couple kills, a 2-0-0 scoreline, able to pick up a kill on Wiki earlier, and then 1 on a Spliffy in that last team fight. So, I mean, again, like we said in Champ Select, if you're able to hit the double bombs on Zillion, it can be game-changing. So, I mean, we're going to have to see whether St. Olaf's going to be able to execute on those. A really nice double bubble in that last fight as well. It really comes down to whether they're able to answer the pressure from Ganked by Gophers coming out. Already looking for the inhibitor. This TP comes out from Spliffy.
Teleport is burned. Stand United still there. Colleen trying to clear the way, but the turret does go down. Spliffy jumping in onto Wexler, not even taking damage. There's the Paranoia onto the back line. Witty Parker taking some damage. Stand United keeping him alive. And now Never Vote Yes doing so much damage with the Caitlyn. This might be the last team fight St. Olaf has in them, as this next inhibitor is going to be going down to Ganked by Gophers. Incredible defensive play.
Yeah, really good.
Oh, flashing the auto attack.
He thought he was on Aatrox. I'm confirming it now, I think. But yeah, Spliffy with a really good taunt flash there, engage. I mean, UMN's so far ahead now that if they're able to get any engage off with a comp that does lack a lot of engage, I mean, the taunt flash there is really all you have. Short of a bind landing from Potato or a bind landing from Wiki, but I mean, that was a really good proactive play that's going to net them the bot inhibitor.
And something I just want to point out, because I sympathize and I totally understand how frustrating this can be, but looking at Wexler's stat line, 0-0-1.
Yeah, I mean,
he's been present for 1 kill, but he got the assist.
Yeah, I mean, Lucian is a really strong pick in lane. As we can see, Wexler able to keep up in CS, but when you have so many shields and such a tanky front line, especially with Spirit's Refuge on the side of Ganked by Gophers, as a Lucian, you're not able to do enough damage, I don't think, with currently how the AD carries are structured. And I think this is really, you know, the issue we talked about in Champ Select, where St. Olaf doesn't have the TP. Yes, they took triple Ignite, but they weren't able to execute enough in the early game, and now the fact that UMN has the double global is really paying them dividends, and I think this is a little bit of punishment for the side of St. Olaf not running TP on either the mid lane or the top lane.
Yeah, and Wake, he does have the Mejai's stacks up so that he is getting the extra movement speed. He's got the 15 stacks. It's 15, right? That's what gets it for you.
Going low.
Ooh, Daisy getting taken down by the Culling, but this is the vision control. They just can't. Oh! It's actually secured.
I saw it coming.
By Wolfie Meister. Oh my god.
I mean, that is the pinnacle of a double bomb coming out there, like we were saying earlier. Is able to pick that up. I mean, this is gonna buy St. Olaf a good 4 or 5 minutes to be able to stall their lanes out. It's really now on UMN whether they can keep the pressure up. They are pretty far ahead, but being able to Baron buff your minion waves and just try to wave clear is really, really good for the side of St. Olaf here.
And are you re-question? Okay, actually, I'll get back to that. The team fight seems to be breaking out as Tidal Wave's just knocking up 2 members. Turret does go down. The double bubble again. Jim. You're getting caught out, but you're also showing up when the team needs it most. Unfortunately, no follow-up coming in because Bright Knot was back in base. But I was just going to ask, Potato, to my knowledge, I saw that Smite was up after Baron went down, like right after. And I got to assume it was up during also. Did he just fail that Smite?
Worst Smite. Worst Smiter NA, I think.
So does this make you think maybe he doesn't deserve to go to the Big Ten? Maybe this is convincing you otherwise? Keep in mind, he doesn't know that you were casting tonight. He didn't know that you were going to be watching, so maybe he found out. He's like, oh boy, I'm nervous now.
I mean, he did get 4 dragons this game, 3 of them being Oceans on a Siege comp, so that's definitely netted his team an advantage. I don't think giving up a Baron is a good thing, though, at the end of the day. Like I said, it does give St. Olaf an opportunity to stall the game out longer, which is what they want. But UMN still able to pick up that 4 dragon means that Elder is a really big win condition for them here. They're going to be able to force St. Olaf to fight them at Elder Drake because, you know, 4 dragon empowered Elder Drake is going to be absolutely way too much for them to deal with.
And typically when you have the less offensive dragons, it doesn't make as big of a deal. But when you have 3, that's the thing. You have 3 Ocean Drakes. And you are a Siege comp. You have the Caitlyn, you have the Ivern. You're just not going to die as you're sieging those turrets.
Out here a little bit.
There are 4 members onto him. The chain, CC, Paranoia might save him. Calling in, Potato might be going down. And he almost falls to Floob. Just a couple more autos. Potato standing United, keeping him alive. The Floob actually goes down. Woody Parker's ultimate getting the kill on that, but it's a double kill as the laser takes out Right Knot as well. Wexler does not want the fight to end. He wants to keep going. Bubble landing from Jim, but unfortunately they just can't keep the fight going. Heal from Wexler. Some summoner spells available, but this turret's got to be going down.
Yeah, and I mean, at this point, St. Olaf is, I mean, they're still in it. They're within 5k gold, but it's such a high execution composition for them. They need to land the bubble consistently. They need to land the double bomb coming out of the Zillion consistently to really have any chance of winning a team fight. And I mean, we saw a couple double bombs there being missed from Wolfie Meister, and that really is the difference here. I mean, they're not able to lock down the kill on Potato, even though he dropped so low.
But this is Wexler. Just, you can't really do anything about that other than just not be there. He was a little too far forward and just trying to keep the turret alive.
Yeah, and this is really the power of the 3 Ocean Drakes coming out for the side of UMN. I mean, if on the side of
Slippy landing the taunt again onto Jim. Lux ultimate doesn't actually land the damage, but that's an inhibitor turret. Bot lane's also pushing in, so once they get this, they might just be able to rotate their wiki, walking right into that. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, as I was saying, you know, the power of the 3 Oceans really means that if St. Olaf isn't able to execute kind of a burst combo in a team fight and really just eliminate members right away.
I didn't even notice.
UMN's just straight going for the end here.
There's no Nexus turrets. I didn't even notice that. The Flu goes to Woody Parker, 5th kill of the game. You gotta kill Potato at least once. He's 0-0-10 right now. Wants it to happen. We want it to happen. Unfortunately, Never Vote Yes says, no, that's my teammate. He's not going down this game. Wexler doing his best. Shut down gold. Actually going to Wolfie Meister, 3rd kill of the game. But this will be Nexus falling as there is an ace now for Ganked by Gophers.
Yeah, really strong performance coming out of Ganked by Gophers. Pretty good snowball other than that Baron steal, which was really nice on the side of Wolfie Meister. But yeah, we have to question, again, the triple ignite. Not being able to capitalize on it means that, I mean, you're not getting much value out of it. Right Out of Figure does get a pretty good solo kill early in the game, but it's just not enough.
Yeah, congratulations on Ganked by Gophers. That's it. They went the whole split undefeated.
11-0.
11-0. Unheard of in Minnesota LCS, but definitely going to be something to look going forward. Can any other team follow in their footsteps? That's setting a precedence.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple teams that are pretty close, but I mean, you're undefeated. You can't really get much better than that. So.
And proving that they deserve it, Potato not picking up a single kill, but not dying either, with 14 assists. Not the highest skill participation on the team, but definitely helping out a lot, especially with that early game red buff steal. That just put the Floop so far behind, and he was 1-7. It's so difficult playing the Nocturne into the team composition.
Right. And that's definitely, it feels bad, kind of a jungle matchup, which we alluded to a little bit at the start of the game. But, I mean, again, Nocturne looking to make those plays around level 6, but, I mean, when there's Shenstand United to answer you every time, what can you really do? I mean, you're up 60 CS, but it just doesn't matter because Potato's applying so much support in every lane.
So the question now is, we like to give player of the games 2 players that showed up huge and that we, in our opinions, we thought did the best or performed the most impressive. Who would you give player of the game to, just based on what we saw right now?
I'm probably going to give it to Neverville Yes this game, actually, because I think they built a team comp around him, but he was also able to execute and be really the driving force in that pushing power that UMen had. I mean, he was really on the ball with dropping traps on every single CC that his teammates landed. Knew where he could be on the map and just really pushed the snowballing advantage for UMN. And I think that's really something that's really important because something that's really difficult for teams is to close out games when you get an advantage. And that's really, I think, what he instigated this game.
Yeah, I agree as well. I might have given an argument for Wiki, but he did get caught out earlier and give up that one death when he really shouldn't have given that up. And unfortunately, that was his only death of the game. Neverville Yes, his only death was a legitimate one. It was, he got dove, and there wasn't much more they could have done to stop it. So I agree, it's going to Neverville Yes. But that is the end of St. Olaf and Ganked by Gophers run through this tournament, at least in the split. Both of them are in playoffs, so this isn't the last time you'll get to see them play. But next up, we have one more game for the entire split. We had 3 on the docket, but Pocket Picks and Mavericks played their game on Monday. They had to reschedule. So the last game of all of our Minnesota LCS spring split is going to be at Duluth Ram Ranch against St. Scholastica Pupper Dogs. So don't go anywhere, and we'll be right back with that. All right, and we are back for the final game of Minnesota LCS Spring Split. It's going to be UMD Cowboys. There was a name change. That's happy. Good news.
Are they allowed to do that?
Technically not, but okay. Also, technically, we enacted that rule recently for next season. So next season, there will be no team name changes, I believe, in the last 4 weeks. Don't quote me on that. There is some kind of rule. So what was it? Okay, so there was no name change. I got confirmation from our streamer Mike. The name is still the same. I won't say it though, because all I'm seeing is Cowboys. So that's all I see right there.
I mean, I think it must have been an improvement. Yeah, had to have been.
Exactly, right? But they are against the Pupper Dogs. Now, there's 2 College of St. Scholastica teams that have. I mean, College of St. Scholastica in itself is kind of a mouthful. So the way I always remember them is Pupper Dogs, Puff Boy, because you see the top laner first and kind of puff. Yeah, that works off. But
so you said they had 2 teams?
Yeah, they also have the Fighting Saints, and then there's St. Cloud and St. Olaf. So many Saints in this tournament. It's a little ridiculous. We're trying to get St. Kate's. That'd be fun, an all women's team.
Something interesting to talk about. I mean, when you have 2 teams coming from the same school, it actually is definitely an advantageous situation because you're able to practice with your sister team. I don't know if they implement that, but that's definitely something that we would look to do with our team is be able to practice against the other team that's going to your school so that you can improve kind of in like a parallel manner.
It's basically free scrims. Anytime you need scrims, you have the other team from your school. But honestly, unfortunately, neither St. Scholastica team has really, you could say, impressed, but more just made it very far in the tournament so far. Pupper Dogs, they have no chance of making it in, and Fighting Saints also did not win their chance of making it in. So neither team from St. Scholastica getting towards the playoffs. Next season, they have had talks of how they're going to rehaul their whole team structure and try to make sure that they have much better teams going into next season, try to get more players to join in the clubs as well as practice over the summer. So that they're a team to watch going forward. Again, a win or a loss here, it doesn't matter for either of these teams. Ram Ranch are guaranteed, Cowboys are guaranteed to be 3rd place, even if they lose. Pupper Dogs guaranteed to not make playoffs, even if they win. Even though they technically would be tied with St. Cloud and Pocket Picks, they've lost the head-to-head with both of them.
Right, definitely a similar situation from what we had last game. I would like to see both these teams make a little bit more of a fun kind of draft, maybe, knowing the situation in the league. But obviously, we do have to understand that these teams are going to try to be professional to some extent. But Aatrox support, definitely a possibility.
Somebody has to play. Like, this is the last time.
If I was playing, I'd do it.
Once we get into playoffs, they actually kind of need to start taking it seriously, and I understand that. I can't expect Timo or the Aatrox, but, I mean, this is the time to do it if anybody is going to. Or Timo support. I swear, there is a Timo support build. You go 4 Luden's Echoes with boats, Moby Boots, and Dead Man's Plate, and you run, cue the AD carry, and run away. And that's your only job, is you just blind the AD carry and then run away. And it works every time, I swear to God. You don't even need to buy vision. You just drop your mushrooms everywhere.
Cannot confirm or deny whether that works.
His kit is built for a support.
Yeah, we do see both teams giving us a signal that they're ready. Hopefully we're getting a champ select pretty soon. A little bit of swearing going on. Let's not pay attention to that.
I mean, I don't know if there's a disclaimer on the stream saying that like this is a PG screen. So I don't know. Maybe it's okay. We don't say it, but it's because we're professionals, obviously. Right.
We may or may not mute the mic every few seconds just so we can let them out.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely happens. Like, anytime we see Demolisher in the jungle just into the enemy team, 1v5, we just, mute and just go off. And sometimes it goes through a little bit, but we just try to play music in the background so no one notices.
Wait, what's this stuff going on in the...
I honestly have no idea.
How are they doing that? I've never seen the ability to do that.
Is that... Wait, they're not
third person.
It looks like it. It looks like they're changing their clan tag. Like, that's the color of the clan tag, but it's italicized.
Weird.
That's
definitely weird.
It's a big word, I know. Italicized. It means slanted slightly.
Yeah. I think it might mean more than that.
I'm pretty sure that's a scientific definition. Is slanted slightly. Demolisher hags. What? I'm so confused. I think it's unfortunately because MNLCS has to go into spectate, so he has to give ownership of the room to one of these monkeys, and then they can. I think that they can do whatever they want with it. So that's probably what we're seeing.
Can we call people monkeys?
At this point in the season, yeah.
Okay. Right. Good to know. If I ever, make it to the end of the season again, I will definitely use the word as much as possible.
I don't know if we can call the Cowboys that because they have their playoff spot locked in. That's the only thing.
I mean, I haven't had too much experience with these teams, so is there anything I should know maybe about whether these teams have matched up before or, what kind of identity either team might have?
Well, the thing about MNLCS is every team only gets a chance to play against each other once in the split. Mm-hmm. It's unfortunate that that's how we have to do it, but we have to cram the whole season into a semester for college.
Right.
It would obviously be better if we could have them play 2 games a week so that they can play against every team twice, because that's really how you tell if you can adapt around the enemy team's play style, or at least do a best-of-3 format, something like that. But this is just logistically how we've been able to do it. So these teams have never played against each other.
Oh, wow.
But one thing I can guarantee you is it's going to be fun. Watching the Pupper Dogs is always a treat. They always give something that's enjoyable to watch.
And like we said, last game of the regular season, actually the last game.
Exactly.
So, I mean, we got to see some fun stuff coming out. The Rek'Sai ban coming out for the side of UMD.
Something Demolisher plays a lot of. He plays the Rek'Sai. He plays as well the Vi. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're trying to take away jungle from him. That might come out as well. And actually, Rengar getting banned against Cripple. A lot of jungle priority here. But no Graves ban, which is typically the highest prioritized jungle.
Yep, no Graves ban yet, for sure.
Yet.
Obviously, UMD on the blue side might be looking to pick up either Graves or Lulu. Both